Exatamente, aqui ele trouxe o ponto principal, né? Então, se a gente entra na internet, os caras que vendem cursos também trazem esses dados do tipo, ah, cibersegurança vai ter 30 mil vagas, 1 milhão de vagas em 2025. E realmente vai ter do jeito que a coisa tá. Por quê? Porque a gente tem muita vaga e pouco pessoal qualificado. Se você falar com qualquer pessoa que está entrando na área agora, você vai ver a dificuldade que é conseguir a primeira oportunidade. Porque tem muita gente com pouco conhecimento querendo entrar na área, porém vagas de level sênior e pleno são vagas que estão abertas há muito tempo e não tem gente qualificada para atender. Olá, seja bem-vindo a mais um vídeo aqui no canal Educação Hacker. Hoje vai ser um vídeo sobre a banalização da segurança da informação, ou seja, a banalização de cibersegurança, como a gente vê aí na internet, que tem ocorrido muito. Então, para isso, eu vou trazer aqui um conteúdo de um canal gringo, onde a gente vai reagir o que ele comentou sobre esse tópico e o que eu acho sobre o que ele comentou. Então, o canal em si que a gente vai reagir ao 𝗜𝗏𝗦𝗏 é um dos principais canais aí de cibersegurança aí no mercado internacional, onde ele traz bastante conteúdo relevante aí para a segurança da informação. Então, vou aproveitar já esse vídeo e apresentar vocês para esse canal de segurança da informação, que é um dos melhores aí que a gente tem no YouTube. Então, vamos pro vídeo.
Making this video? Why are you wasting time? Or, where you could have been making a video on web app pen testing or the web app pen testing series. Why are you making this video? Well, this is a thought or a topic that's been on my mind over the last 2 years, I would say. Now, I've been on YouTube, or this channel, 𝗜𝗏𝗦𝗏, has been active since 2015, probably, frequently active since 2017. What does that mean? It means that I've seen this platform and I've seen cybersecurity content on this platform evolve for better and for worse. Now, before we begin this video, I'd like to point out one thing. There are a series, actually there's a ton of awesome cybersecurity content creators like Live Overflow, John Hammond, 𝗜𝗏𝗦𝗏, 𝗏𝗏𝗏, Heath Adams, also known as the Cyber Mentor, who are doing a phenomenal job. Their videos are extremely useful, extremely helpful, and extremely educational. And, I actually watch their content, I enjoy it, and, I'm not really referring to them. So, for all the points that I make, just disregard them. I'm not firing shots at anyone here, but over the last couple of years, I've started noticing a very interesting trend on YouTube and on other social media platforms that include whose primary media or medium is images or videos, right? And that is the trivialization of our industry, right? And that industry is cybersecurity. Now, as I said, I have no problem with content creators who are making fun videos with topics pertinent to cybersecurity. That's not the problem. The problem I have are clickbait videos who are telling you something that they actually do not deliver within the video. Now, I'm not going to, mention any names or point anyone out. I think, you should be aware of this already if you're not. I got a comment, a very peculiar comment from a viewer a couple of days ago. It might have been probably a week ago. And they told me, Alexis, why aren't you getting a lot of views on your channel? And I said, well, that's because I'm not chasing views. And if you might have noticed, the more content that I've published on the on the advanced side of things or the intermediate side of things, the more the viewership has sort of gone down. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why is this? Or maybe you're just being a bit too jealous of other content creators. Now, let me
Isso é um ponto bem interessante, né? Então, quando a gente cria conteúdo aqui para um público mais avançado, algo bem mais específico e direcionado, a gente tem uma queda bem grande aí de views, né? O que acaba que conteúdos aí para iniciantes acabam sendo aí bem mais visualizados e conteúdos com clickbait, com informações do tipo hackeie com um clique só, esse tipo de coisa aí acaba traindo muitas views, né?
Let me point something out. 𝗜𝗏𝗦𝗏 has never been about me. It's not about me. I think you guys already know that. This is not a personality-based channel. This is a community project that is designed and was developed from the get-go to deliver free cybersecurity training to everyone, to the community. Why? Because when I started out, these resources were not available, and it was extremely difficult to break into the door, right? It was very hard to get, a job in cybersecurity. And I said, if I can
Foi por isso que eu comecei a criar conteúdo também, né? A gente, principalmente aqui no Brasil, a gente tinha pouco conteúdo em português quando eu criei esse canal aqui, né? Então, esse foi realmente o meu intuito também, trazer conhecimento. E na época também conteúdo de certificação também era inexistente em português, né?
help people, if I can make things easier, then I think that's a win for me. And so far, I've been extremely pleased with what 𝗏𝗡𝗦𝗏 has been able to accomplish. And, we have a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the future, which will make it even better with regards to the types of topics and content we'll be able to cover. But that's my objective. That's the objective of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I don't care about views. If I did, you might have been seeing me post content that is, you might have been asking yourself, Alexis, what on earth are you doing? Or you might have said to yourself very quietly, aha, I think we have started to see the true colors of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 or Alexis. So this is what you're after. I'm not after fame. This channel is not about me. Very few people know my name. If I wanted, I would have named this channel under my own name, and you'd have been seeing me, a lot more of me. Most of my videos on the channel don't even include my face or a face cam. That's something that's a very recent addition, which I was sort of experimenting with to improve the interaction between me and you, the audience. And of course, I'm still picking up on feedback that you guys have been giving me regarding that. But coming back to the point, what am I saying here? Well, there's a series of content creators on YouTube who seems to think that this industry can be trivialized and bastardized to essentially help them meet whatever end they're trying to meet, mostly financial. And the stuff that they're spewing is not representative at all of what this industry is about and where this industry is going. Now, you might be saying to yourself again, could you please give us some examples of these content creators? I'm not going to name any names. I'm just going to give you examples of some of the interesting titles I've seen on YouTube. And this is, it's really depressing because that's a load of hogwash. I'll give you an example. You might, if you just perform a few searches on YouTube pertinent to topics you might be interested in, maybe let's say Android reverse engineering, well, you'll see some very interesting titles like, how hackers gain access to Android phones. Now, that might seem like a really, really interesting video filled, to the brim with content that you can take and start implementing or start doing almost immediately. Well, if you click on one of those videos, you'll start to realize that, yeah, that's a load of hogwash, really. And one piece of advice that I'll give you is, when you watch someone who is telling you something that might be influential with regards to your career, just try and perform some research on that individual and ask yourself, is this person qualified to be telling you this or to be teaching you this? Now, do qualifications matter? I'm not talking about official qualifications or certifications. I'm simply asking whether this individual has enough experience in the industry or has actually even worked in the industry to be telling you this. And secondly, ask yourself at the end of these sensationalist videos whether you've learned anything. Now, as I said, I understand that videos can be in the form of entertainment, but since when has cybersecurity become about entertainment? Now, as I said, I know there are content creators who have interpolated skills development with entertainment, also known as infotainment. I have no problem with that, right? But when you talk about a very specialized industry like cybersecurity that should be taken seriously because it's becoming an increasingly important industry, the more our civilization becomes more, technologically advanced, the more that happens, the more this seems to be a gateway for individuals to peddle nonsense and to sell stuff. Now, do you have a problem with people selling stuff? No, I don't. But to make videos, under the guise of educational content, or to make videos and sort of, create the perception of giving you information that you otherwise would not have been able to find, and then peddling stuff to you within that video that again will, with the claims of helping you improve or helping you get better, where you see taglines like, oh, you can do this if you just buy this, or this is the ultimate stuff here. You need to get some of this, and you'll be able to do this within 1 week. I mean, that's a load of crap, man. I mean, that's not how this works. You can't.
Exatamente, isso aqui então ele tá falando, né, das falsas promessas aí que muitos criadores de conteúdo fazem para vender conhecimento, né? Então, como ele falou, ele não é contra quem vende coisas, mas sim essas falsas promessas onde você, né, aprenderia a fazer uma engenharia reversa de um Android, ou iria aprender a hackear qualquer Android em 10 dias, né? O que não acontece e o que acaba atraindo muita gente aí que quer ingressar na área.
You can't learn to do something in a week. You just can't. And I hope you guys know that. And I hope you can see this because the new generation is just walking through the door and this is the stuff they're being influenced by. Now, cybersecurity, or hackers, if you will, let me just use that term, which is something I don't like.
Outro ponto que ele trouxe que é muito importante é a questão, né, de entender se a pessoa que está te passando conteúdo realmente tem experiência na área, né? Então, por isso que eu sempre boto meu LinkedIn aqui abaixo, onde vocês podem pesquisar no meu LinkedIn onde eu já trabalhei, a experiência que eu tenho. Aqui atrás tem as minhas certificações. Então, claro que uma certificação não comprova que eu sei nada, mas ajuda, né? Então, ajuda pelo menos a comprovar que eu fui aprovado no processo que é necessário para tirar essa prova, né? Então, esse tipo de informação dá embasamento de que eu tenho alguma certa autoridade para falar sobre o assunto.
Like anymore. This industry has been, has always had a negative perception from the outside world, primarily because of Hollywood movies, where they think hackers or anyone who works in cybersecurity is a criminal. And of course, that perception has changed, rightfully so. But just as we reached that point, and it was somewhere around 2014 or 2015 that the world started taking cybersecurity more seriously, just at that point, there was now a new paradigm where this was the all new exciting field, there was a lot of excitement around it. And very quickly, people realized that, okay, this may be a very exciting field, but it's a highly specialized field. It requires a high level of specialization in a plethora of areas or knowledge domains, ranging from operating systems to networking to programming, etc. Right? And,
Que a gente sempre fala aqui no canal, né? Então, a área de segurança da informação ser uma área aí de especialidade dentro da tecnologia da informação.
Very quickly, people realized that, okay, this is not like coding. Remember, around maybe 2007-ish, moving forward, there was a huge interest around development and programming and web development, mobile app development, and there's a lot of bullshit that was spread during that time about, oh, you can become a developer in 1 month. I mean, what that caused, or what that brought at the end result of all of that nonsense was that you had half-assed developers who could not build applications because, they were essentially sold a lie. They thought that this was all of a sudden a money-making scheme. It's a quick way to make a lot of money, and you can become the next whoever, insert any name there. You can develop your own app, you'll become extremely successful, etc. Well, that didn't pan out. Now it's the same thing is happening to cybersecurity, where it's, you can become this, and you can do that, and you can hack into phones, and you can hack into cars, and then you ask the individual, could you please tell me the layers of the OSI model? And they ask you, OSI what? You start realizing that this is just the worst kind of stuff that's happening, man. And as I said, just disregard me from this. Just imagine a parallel universe where I didn't exist. I'm not speaking, from the point of hackersploit. This is just a discussion that I would like to have with you guys. All I'm saying is, this is a very crucial point in time, because I know a lot of people who have been dilly-dallying in the cybersecurity industry. They said they wanted to become penetration testers. They've just been watching all of that nonsense, hack into Android phones or hack into this and that, and, all of that stuff. And the one thing you realize is that their skill level has not improved. Now, why is that? Well, because people have trivialized the industry. It's all about those quick wins, those quick hacks, and become a hacker in 1 day or...
Exatamente. Então, o que o pessoal procura hoje são receitas de bolo rápidas, né? Então, hackeie em um dia, hackear um smartphone, hackear um computador. Então, esse tipo de buscas que o pessoal faz no YouTube, esse tipo de vídeos tem mais audiência e muitas vezes entregam coisas superficiais aí para esses usuários, né?
1 week, or at a certain point we need to ask ourselves, is this what we're trying to do? Are we building incompetent cybersecurity professionals? And I'm adding the suffix professional there very with a lot of regret, because what's happening now to a majority of the industry, and I've spoken to recruiters, is that there are a lot of individuals who want cybersecurity jobs, but they really don't have the skills to fill those positions. So you see tons of news articles on the internet by sensationalist media companies and on the tabloids, the cybersecurity industry is lacking, is lacking a workforce, and there's tons of openings. Well, there's a lot of people trying to get those jobs, but why aren't they getting them? Because they've not been able to focus on what needs to be done, and that...
Exatamente, aqui ele trouxe o ponto principal, né? Então, se a gente entra na internet, os caras que vendem cursos também trazem esses dados do tipo, cibersegurança vai ter 30 mil vagas, 1 milhão de vagas em 2025. E realmente vai ter do jeito que a coisa tá. Por quê? Porque a gente tem muita vaga e pouco pessoal qualificado. Se você falar com qualquer pessoa que está entrando na área agora, você vai ver a dificuldade que é conseguir a primeira oportunidade. Porque tem muita gente com pouco conhecimento querendo entrar na área, porém vagas de level sênior e pleno são vagas que estão abertas há muito tempo e não tem gente qualificada para atender.
Is of course increasing your skill level. Now, I'll give you another example. On this channel, and I've actually seen the trend, when I was making content that was, let's say, beginner friendly, a lot of views. That's something I expected, to be fair. And a lot of people at that point were saying, oh, well, this is just the basic stuff, man. Stop focusing on networking. Stop telling us about TCP header flags or the three-way handshake. That's all garbage, man. What does that have to do with hacking? Okay, so I listened to all of that. I continued making that content because I knew how important it is. I know how important these fundamentals are. I started, I made a lot of videos on the fundamentals, and I said I'm going to make sure that I build a library of content that will give people the essentials with regards to what they need to know, or provide them with a foundational base. And I continued making them, and then slowly, because the videos stopped becoming interesting, or stopped being related to cybersecurity, the views started dropping. And I said, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. And there was a small percentage of people who continued watching. I said, those are the people I'm making this content for, because they understand understand that this industry is all about learning and improving, and the fundamentals are extremely important, because if you don't know about, let's say TCP and how it works, then how can you possibly understand the different scan options that you can use with Nmap? As a simple example, you know?
Exatamente, né? Então, aqui ele trazendo realmente a importância a gente conhecer as bases, né? Aqui ele deu o exemplo de networking, mas já serve aí para a gente mensurar o porquê é necessário conhecer as bases da tecnologia, né?
How can you understand that? So when I start covering videos on Nmap, then people start saying, oh, well, what is an ACK packet? Or why are you sending ACK packets? And I said, well, I've already covered that. Did you not watch that? I said, no, that's too boring. I don't know what that shit was about, but, you know, I want to learn how to hack, whatever that means. I don't really know what that means anymore.
Exatamente, o pessoal não quer entender as bases. Então, quando chega na hora da prática, na hora de rodar a ferramenta, ele não sabe o que aquilo está acontecendo, o que está fazendo aquela ferramenta por baixo dos panos. Mas por quê? Porque o vídeo das bases, que o conteúdo não é tão fancy, não é tão legal, ele não assistiu.
Learn how to hack, but you get my point. So I covered the fundamentals as best as I can, all right? So then I said, okay, let's move on to the next step. Let's help my audience build up their skills. Let's bring them to an intermediate level. At this point now, I'm going to be giving people the skills or the knowledge required to get a job, whether, you know, as a junior pen tester, etc. So I started covering exploitation a little bit more, you know, covering privilege escalation, which I did very well. I'm actually quite pleased with how that series turned out. Viewership started to drop because why? It's not exciting. It's not exciting. Why watch that when I can watch something, your video about hacking an Android device in 2 minutes or something like that? Why watch that? Well, what you're doing here is you're staying at the same level. You've plateaued, and what you're looking for are these, you know, these constant dopamine fixes of content that is, you know, very, very exciting. You know, there's something that gets your blood flowing. And, you know, to be fair, that's not what this industry is about. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it is in certain cases. When a CVE comes out and you're researching it and you're playing around with it, that's exciting. But you know, I would recommend to all of you as, you know, as a very important piece of advice, focus on leveling up. Stop watching that same, you know, low tier stuff. And again, I'm not pointing or calling out anyone. That's for you to do. You know them. You know them. And as I said, a quick litmus or acid test is just ask yourself at the end of these videos, these sensationalist videos, what did I learn? What was the primary core of this video? Was it the product that said individual was peddling? Maybe. I don't know. Are they asking you to buy something? Did you learn anything that's useful? Regardless of whether that information is exciting or not, just ask yourself that question. And please focus on leveling up. I'm not saying watch my channel. Please disregard my channel from all of this. You can watch all of the other fantastic content creators that have created content that is, you know, quite honestly, phenomenal. It's absolutely fantastic what they've been able to create. We literally now have a community of content creators on YouTube that cover pretty much all specializations within cybersecurity, from pen testing to reverse engineering to blue team, you know, exploit development, all of that good stuff. And as I said, cybersecurity content doesn't need to be, you know, sort of, it doesn't need to be always serious. I understand that you can have fun with the audience. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't have fun, but when videos are created and released and, you know, they have clickbait titles, clickbait thumbnails, a lot of people watch them, and apparently they learn stuff from them, and you ask them what you learned, they don't have an answer, because that's just entertainment. What you're watching is not useful. Now, if you're happy with watching that stuff and you feel that that's what you'd like to do with your time, if you feel that your time is worth nothing, and you should spend your time watching that stuff, then that's fine. But if you want to get into this industry, if you want to become someone within this industry and do stuff, and, you know, if you're passionate about this industry and you want to improve your skill level and you understand that it takes time and that this is a specialized industry, then you know what you need to do. You know the questions you need to ask yourself. Now, to end this video,
Então aqui ele trouxe bem, né, essa questão aí de analisar bem o tipo de conteúdo que você está visualizando, né? Ele até comentou ali que não é contra vídeos que têm como intuito trazer diversão com cibersegurança, mas a gente tem uma linha muito tênue aí, né? Porque no momento que tu quer trazer essa parte mais de diversão, ao mesmo tempo você tem que trazer, né, conhecimento para a galera, né? Então, até por isso eu criei aqui o quadro no canal, né, o Hacker Pistola, que ele tem justamente esse intuito, né, trazer conteúdo de uma forma mais engraçada. Mas em nenhum hacker pistola ali eu vou te dizer que tu vai sair um hacker em um vídeo, né? Porque isso não existe. Então, realmente aí o intuito é fazer esse alerta aí para vocês, tá?
I'm just going to clarify what I mean by specialized. I've already done so, but I'll give you another analogy. Let's look at a field, you know, I'm a huge fan of the Renaissance period that had a lot of highly skilled individuals, right? And why were they skilled? Well, one of the reasons they were skilled is because, number one, they were passionate, they really liked what they were doing. Secondly, they spent an incredible amount of time learning their craft, and they focused on one thing. There wasn't any dilly-dallying between reverse engineering or hacking Android devices or Raspberry Pi hacking or all of that stuff, which you may know might be useful, but they were really focused on improving their skill and measuring their improvement over a period of time. Right now, imagine if we had the same sort of Renaissance artisans in 2022, and they started. We saw that the industry of let's say painting or drawing and sculpting was becoming a really huge industry, and you started seeing the peddlers come in and started making videos like, "Oh, learn how to sculpt a face in 24 hours." I mean, what are you doing here? You're lying to people, because you've essentially told them, and this is something that also works at a subconscious level. I've seen this with a lot of young individuals. They think that you can actually learn a skill like, let's say, Active Directory penetration testing in one night. Now, I can tell you for a fact that that's not possible. I'm just going to tell you the fact here, the fact of the matter. As I said, this is not, cybersecurity is not a TikTok content, is not fit for that, because I respect the industry. I respect the individuals who do a lot of hard work in the industry, the people that go without mention. And moving forward, I'm actually going to be giving them a platform to speak, because those individuals, the experienced individuals who no one watches, they might have YouTube channels, but no one even watches them, because their titles make sense. If they say Active Directory enumeration, that's what you're going to get. Whereas, if they wanted to gain quick views or build up an audience or a following, whatever that means, then they could have titled it How to Hack Active Directory, so-and-so, maybe 6 hours or maybe 2 hours, if that makes any sense. So my point here is I am taking a stand against this, and I'm making this video to just inform you that now is the time to specialize. It's time to stop wasting time on trivial stuff that really isn't, it's not improving your knowledge or skill set. Some of these things can be Googled, right? And, hopefully this makes sense. As I said, I'm not calling anyone out. I would love to know what you guys think about this, because it's something that's been on my mind for a while. And I would like to know what you guys think, just have a discussion really about this. And, moving forward, I'll hopefully be having more engagement with you guys on this, or, on any other topics that you might have. But take your career seriously. Take your career seriously, and understand that, you really can't start trivializing an industry like cybersecurity. Final example is, and you see it with also a lot of other industries, not even related to technology, maybe engineering. Well, not really engineering, mostly to do with, cars or engines and stuff. You'll just start to see, you might have already seen it, but you have guys coming in and their job is to make a quick buck. Just remember that. Just remember that they're selling you something, okay? And they're not really interested in whether or not you're learning anything. And as I said, I will never be focused on views. That's not the objective of this channel. My job is to give people guidance and to give people knowledge so that they can go and get a job. I'm not here to take credit for anything that you've done. I want you.
Aqui ele trouxe outro ponto bem interessante, né? Eu concordo com tudo que ele pontuou aqui nesse vídeo, né? E uma coisa que ele falou ali que eu levo comigo é agora é hora de se especializar, né? Então, realmente buscar conhecimento aí nas bases e naquilo que importa e parar de procurar receita de bolo e vídeos rápidos, né?
To succeed in your career. When you succeed, that makes me happy, okay? When you say that you got a job as a penetration tester and you're loving it, and you've been able to get your dream job, that's what is, that's what really motivates me. I'm not motivated by those numbers next to a video. No. If a video helps only one person, that's it. That's all I care about. And I think you guys know that. If I was interested in clickbait stuff, trust me, I would have done it. I mean, I have the know-how to do so. And if I want to do it, I could have done it, but I'm not. That's against the goal of Hackexploit. This is about you guys. Hackexploit has always been about the community, and I think you guys also know that. We've always made content with regards to your suggestions, your feedback, what you guys want to see, and disregarding some of the clickbait stuff, I think we've delivered. And, as we move or progress through this year, there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff that, will be really informative, really helpful. So yeah, I'm just going to end this video on that last point. I don't really have anything else to say. All I'll say is treat yourself like a professional. Don't treat yourself like an amateur. Focus on one thing. Understand that you need to improve your understanding of a plethora of other fields like networking, operating systems, etc. Cybersecurity is a synergy of all of these industries, all of these specializations coming into one place. With that being said, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this.
Enfim, o vídeo é esse, né? Então, o recado final que ele fala e também eu trago aqui para vocês é levem a sério suas carreiras. Então, realmente parem de perder tempo consumindo conteúdo de pessoas que querem apenas te vender coisas e realmente foque em canais que tem como intuito te ensinar algo, assim como o Hackexploit e outros canais aqui do YouTube que tem como intuito ensinar e não te vender alguma coisa, né? Bom, pessoal, então o vídeo é esse. Por favor, deixe um comentário aqui abaixo e me diga se você gostou desse modelo de vídeo. Para quem não sabe, eu já fiz alguns vídeos nesse mesmo modelo que estão numa playlist que eu vou deixar aqui abaixo. Então, se você gostou desse modelo, deixe um comentário aqui abaixo que vai me ajudar muito para trazer mais conteúdos desse tipo aí, apresentar para vocês mais conteúdos aí do mundo afora em cibersegurança. Então, te inscreve aqui, deixa um comentário e até o próximo vídeo.